If you've been paying attention to real estate news this week, you may have heard that the National Association of Realtors and some major real estate brokerages were found guilty of conspiring to inflate real estate commissions. This was an ongoing lawsuit that we've been covering here. I'll link a video that I did recently before the results were out actually last week, where I go through more in detail what the lawsuit was about and also give you some background on how real estate commissions work to give you a better understanding of what the plaintiffs were complaining and were charging against the defendants in this case. But the result is a $1.78 billion ruling in favor of the plaintiffs. The defendants have to pay those damages, again, for conspiring to inflate real estate commissions. Now, of course, as a real estate agent, I have a very strong opinion on this. I'll reserve that for another time, but I wanted to at least give you an idea of what are the implications for you as a consumer, whether you're a homeowner or you're aspiring to be a home buyer in the future. How is that going to affect the real estate market right now? In the short term, the next year or two, there will be an appeals process. All the defendants have said they're going to appeal the case. That's going to take a while. So even if they aren't successful with their appeal, any changes that are coming to the industry will take a while. So that will not impact you as home buyers or sellers in the short term. And if their appeal actually is successful, of course, and if it overturns the ruling here, then of course there won't be any change. As a takeaway, as a home buyer or seller in the short term, or even the long term, you have to understand, and you can certainly do some more research online and check out that video that I linked earlier for more details. But there's always been choice among home buyers whether or not they want to work with a buyer's agent. And there's always been choice among home sellers whether or not they want to work with an agent. And those commissions are always negotiable. Maybe the agent that you've talked to says they can't really change their price, but you can certainly interview multiple agents and get different opinions, different pricing, different services from different agents. And you also can negotiate those as well. All you have to do is ask. Again, depending on the situation, some agents are willing to negotiate, some aren't. But you always have a choice whether or not you work with a real estate agent, whether you're buying or selling. And also the main complaint in the case was that home sellers had to pay buyer's agents, which if you dig into it a little bit deeper, you realize that actually home sellers pay listing agents, and then listing agents subcontract or pay buyer's agents, just like you would if you were hiring a landscaper to do a job to redo your landscaping beds or something like that. They may have some laborers that they pay to help them. That's the same kind of setup, just like any other business when you have a general contractor and subcontractors. And in fact, in these real estate contracts, or at least the ones in Ohio and Kentucky where we operate, that is actually spelled out explicitly in the contract that the home sellers that are signing this listing contract, again, because they want to, not because they have to, it's actually stated that what the fee is that they're paying the listing agent, and that the listing agent may pay up to this amount to a buyer's agent if a buyer's agent brings an offer that the seller wants to accept. So as far as we know, all the plaintiffs in this case have signed those contracts. I won't get into all the details in my opinion on that, but you can kind of read between the lines here. Certainly do some more research online if you're curious about that. But in the short term, as a home buyer or seller, it shouldn't have any impact on you at all. In the long term, if these appeals are not successful, of course, there will be a major financial impact on the National Association of Realtors and these major real estate brokerages that are part of this suit. There may be additional class action lawsuits. This one was just a regional one in Missouri. There may be more throughout the country as word spreads that this was the decision, that the appeals were not successful. There will also be major impact on how the real estate industry works, how we do business. But as a consumer, it won't be as drastic as you think. As a home buyer, you may have to pay your real estate buyer's agent a commission directly rather than getting that paid through the listing agent. If you didn't know how it works, when you buy a home, the seller pays the listing agent a commission or a fee, and from that commission or fee, the listing agent pays your buyer's agent. So you don't actually directly pay for your buyer's agent services, and when you get the home appraised, it actually has to be by an appraiser determined that it's worth at least what you paid for it or more. So you're literally not paying anything for your buyer's agent commission. The seller is actually paying for that, and that's the basis of this suit. Is a lot of sellers, as they are realizing what happened, even though they agreed to it, they feel like it's not fair that they should have to pay for the buyer's agent commission or compensation. As a home seller, it may change the way you look at things. You may want to offer nothing to a buyer's agent for their commission, or you may still want to offer the going rate in the area, 2.5% to 3%, depending on what the market conditions are in your area. I've always recommended to home sellers here in Cincinnati that they offer buyer agent commissions of 3% because that's competitive in our MLS. But if that changes, of course, my advice will change as well. Those commissions may go down. I don't think they'll ever get to zero across the board, but there will be some sellers that are bold and some agents that allow that as well as listing agents to offer no commission, no compensation to buyer's agents. Just be aware if you're selling a home and that's the avenue you choose, you have to think about, are those agents that have buyers that would buy your home, are they going to work on your behalf to get your home sold or bring a buyer to you, have that buyer present an offer to you if you're not offering any compensation at all. So most people who have tried for sale by owner listings, for example, are aware that they're going to have to offer some sort of compensation to buyer agents. A lot of them willingly offer a 3% commission. If they're handling the sale on their own, they just don't want to pay the other 3% or whatever the other fee is for their listing agent to help them because they think they can do it on their own. But it is pretty well known that you have to pay for what you get, whether you're selling a home or something else. If you're utilizing someone's services, their time, if you want to get a good offer on your home, you have to present that to as many buyers as possible. And that requires some people to work on your behalf to help you get the home sold. So obviously the verdict of this real estate commission lawsuit coming out this past week is a hot topic. But if you're buying a home or selling a home, just understand in the short term, it's not going to have any impact on you. And even in the long term, the results may be very minimal to you as well. It's more of a shock to real estate professionals of how they're going to do business in the future. But if you're buying a home, selling a home, little to no impact in the short term and just a small impact in the future, maybe just a change in how we do business. But ultimately, I think it's not going to really change a whole lot from a consumer standpoint. If you have any questions about how to navigate buying or selling a home in the Cincinnati area, feel free to reach out to us. You can visit our site at 513flatfee.com. Click the link there to schedule a call so we can assess your needs and let you know how we can help you to reach your real estate goals. If you're outside of the area, we can certainly refer you to a professional in your area that can help you as well. I'm Patrick Grosser with the 513 Flat Fee Real Estate Group at Fathom Realty.